Welcome to this episode of Junk Food on the Road. Today we are going to talk about
South Korea. I was told specifically to say South Korea,
yes,
not just Korea.
that's right.
Okay.
Because
Because that's the part
the
we
two
were
countries
in.
are separated right now.
We were in, except for me. No, we were like close to North Korea, but not in.
Yes, we were very close to North Korea
Almost as close as you can get, I think.
without actually going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not important.
Yeah. So, in South Korea, we started our trip in Busan,
Mm-hmm.
which is in the south.
Sort of. We started. We actually had like a half day in Seoul,
We had a couple of hours in Seoul.
and the first thing we did is we went to a grocery store, and in that grocery store I learned about Bath.
Yes, you did.
But we'll get to Bath later, because I think the real Bath experience was in Seoul when we came back.
That's true. We did get a look at Bath when we were waiting for our train to Busan.
Yeah. We'll talk about Bath later.
And I had a Starbucks coffee.
Yes. So you can talk about coffee. Coffee in Korea.
I guess so. It's really hard to find brewed coffee in
Mhm.
Korea. Almost everything is espresso-based drinks.
But there's a
and even-
lot of coffee in Korea.
There's a lot of coffee. There's coffee shops. Like there's 4 on every block.
At least, yeah.
It's super popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were only 2 places I could find. 3 places I could find brewed coffee. Starbucks, the salad place we went to for lunch one day, and McDonald's.
Hmm.
However, Starbucks, you have to order a cup of milk. They give it to you for free, but you have to make sure that you specify you need milk for your coffee if you want to put milk in it. The salad shop and McDonald's, no milk. So if you want milk in your brewed coffee, you can get a cafe latte, but you can't get milk in your coffee,
Yeah.
even if it's like steamed milk for a latte. Like this, just to them, it just does not.
Never the
compute.
twain shall meet.
Never the twain shall meet. It was so weird. And even Starbucks, we went into the suburbs one day, and all of the Starbucks coffee was espresso based, as was the McDonald's out in the suburb as well. So that's my little coffee thing. But there's coffee everywhere. Coffee shops, coffee and dessert shops. Just
It's funny because we actually discussed this earlier. You can't get milk in your coffee, but you can get ice cream in your coffee at McDonald's.
seriously, Oreo flavored ice cream or something.
No,
right?
what it was, they had this dessert, and I didn't really understand it. It was in Korean. That's one thing about Korea is there's not much English translation. Like a lot of countries, like you go to McDonald's and you look at the menu and it flashes between English and whatever language it is there. But Korea, no, it's Korean, 100%.
The little
The ordering
the
things
ordering things.
do, but often when you get to like things that are uniquely Korean for McDonald's, they just put it in like an English sounding version of it. And so this was like I don't even remember the name of the sundae, but
It was like an ice cream treat that had coffee in it. It was you could
but
get,
didn't say coffee in it.
Yeah, but you can get coffee in your ice cream. You can't get ice cream in your coffee.
Yeah.
Because never the twain shall meet.
But so basically what this dessert was though was it was espresso with Oreo cookie grounds in the bottom and a dollop of soft serve ice cream on the top. And visually, when I looked at the picture, because that's all I could tell, because I had no idea what this thing was, I thought it was like Oreo cookie, and I thought maybe it was like hot chocolate or something like that. And then I got it, and man, it was the most bitter coffee ever. It was awful. It was actually one of the few times I hated that sundae. Like, I hated that McDonald's. I would never get that again. Many McDonald's sundaes are kind of like, not great. There are better choices and everything like that. That was truly awful for me.
He tried to hand it over to me, and I didn't even like it.
You had a sip, and it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it was interesting. I'm glad, I'm glad I tried it, but I will never try it again. So, and if you don't like coffee, don't get it.
Yeah, for sure. Even if you like coffee.
Yeah, if you don't like bitter espresso, don't get it.
Yeah, seriously.
So what else is it?
What else did we get in Busan?
Busan.
Well, we had that dinner.
Let's talk about the dinner.
I think people are roughly familiar with Korean barbecue, which is just like a grill in the middle of a table, and then you grill a bunch of meat and sometimes vegetables and stuff on it.
Yeah, you grill it yourself.
So we saw one that I thought had lamb, but apparently it was primarily lamb.
I would say exclusively
with a little.
lamb.
There was some pork.
I don't know if that was actually pork.
It was pork.
Okay.
It was pork for sure. So we hadn't tried Korean barbecue yet. We were like 3 days in to being in South Korea, and so we thought we would try that place. There's Korean barbecue places all over the place, but we went to that place, and it was so cool. It was like this multifaceted barbecue thing that wasn't like anything I had experienced before in anywhere, including Japan, which has a lot of Korean barbecue. They brought this, they had a hole in the table, a rectangular hole, and they brought a metal box full of hot red charcoal and stuck it in the hole. And then they put this little machine on top of it that
undulates.
It sort of goes back and forth, and then they bring the meat on a skewer, and you put the skewer into this machine. Like there's little sort of dents to put the skewer in, and then you make sure that there's a little wheel on the skewer, and you put it into these holes on this machine, and it goes back and forth so it evenly cooks your skewers. And then on top of it, they had this where we had the already cooked pork. They put like a grill on top of all of that, about 2 or 3 inches above it, and then put the pork on it to keep it warm. And it was such an experience. I'm not really doing it justice, but it was so cool.
Yeah.
It was mostly lamb, so Chris kind of hated it, but I was in heaven.
Yeah, and well, we will. There is a 10-second kitchen if you go to the Candy Critic map, and you look around Busan and look for 10-second kitchen. I actually have a little video of the contraption working, so you can watch that. But yeah, it was cool. And the cool thing about it was a nice middle ground for a restaurant, as far as it wasn't too touristy, but it also wasn't so local that we were intimidated.
There were a lot of Russians in there.
Yeah, there was a few Russians. There was a lot of like Koreans as well.
But Busan is a sailing port, so there were sailors from all over the place all the time.
Yeah.
In a very vibrant red light zone.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it was that was a cool experience. That was fun.
It was really fun. And then there were like all of these sort of bakeries and salad shops and stuff to get food, and a bunch of them had something called Busan cookies. And those were kind of neat because you could get Busan cookies on their own, but sometimes they use them as toppers of other cookies or tarts or something.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like dense, sugary.
Almost caramelly, but not quite.
Yeah, and shaped like a chrysanthemum.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool.
I quite enjoyed them when they were with other cookies. I think maybe alone it would be a little too much.
Kind of sweet.
But I think it was like an oatmeal cookie we got it with, almost like a cinnamony oatmeal cookie, and it was great.
I just had a bite, but
it was really good.
I liked them.
Yep, it was tasty. Mm-hmm. Busan is also a port town, so I guess they have a lot of fish, but we don't really eat fish. Like we saw a lot of fish for sale.
Yeah.
But that's not our thing.
No. We ate McDonald's every morning for breakfast because we could. Because where we live right now, there's
no McDonald's.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and yeah, and we there's a lot of like little local grocery stores too. Mm-hmm. Like, so we explored a few of those, and a local grocery store. It's funny because you think how much when you go to like Chinatowns or Koreatowns in other cities, and you kind of go to these stores, you go, well, maybe they sell Korean stuff. Maybe it isn't. It's exactly what it's like kind of boxes everywhere. A little sort of, it's not disorganized, but it's sort of like there's not as much of a like shelf displays. Like they put stuff out and you buy it. It's really simple and cool and easy to find stuff.
And I found Genmai flakes.
Genmai flakes. Have you eaten any yet?
No.
You should eat them before they get stale.
I'm not going to open them until we get back from our next trip.
Okay.
Because that's coming up.
Yeah. Which we probably won't do an episode of this for. No. We've been there 100 times.
It's for work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we went to also in Busan, we went to a Japanese curry shop, which was kind of interesting because Japanese curry sort of started. This is how I understand the history of Japanese curry. I might be completely wrong, but it started in India, Indian curries, and then was taken to England during the Raj. So the Brits started cooking curries, and they sort of de-sweetened it,
Spiced it.
de-spiced it a little bit and made it sort of a little bit more gravy-ish, but still kind of like Indian curry. And then somehow it went from the British curry and made it across to Japan, probably through some sailors, or I don't know how, but it made it over to Japan. So the Japanese curry, although is closer geographically to India, in taste it's closer to the UK style curry and even less spiced, and to me barely resembles Indian curry at all at this point. And so then we went from this Japanese curry to its Japanese curry place in Busan, and had sort of the Korean take on Japanese curry, which is again different. So it's this like modification of curry over time and space that's just fascinating.
The thing I find interesting is this was one of the great examples of where you get kimchi with everything. You can get kimchi for breakfast. You get kimchi with it. Like everything has kimchi. You can go to McDonald's and get a kimchi burger. So it's like
kimchi on curry. Like, so, I mean, I've spent like 4.5 years in Japan in total, and so the idea of kimchi on curry is weird.
And even we live close to India. We lived in Pakistan, and we've been to India. The idea of kimchi on curry would be like
no.
It'd be astronomically and
it's funny because in India you get like curry and chutney and curry and onions and stuff like that, and then in England I don't know what they do with it.
England, the thing about the England thing I find is they've actually gone a little bit closer back to India.
Yeah, they're closer to India than Japan is.
Yeah.
There's there's a British pub in Stratford, Ontario, in Canada, that has a curry, and it's Japanese curry, and I ate it, and I asked the waitress, I said, "Your chef is Japanese, right?" And she was like, "How on earth did you know that?" And I was like, "Because the curry is Japanese." So yeah, but yeah, for me, Japanese curry should have fukujinsuke, which is like these little sort of 7 types of pickles that are red, and they belong, not ginger, but like this special pickle. That's what belongs on Japanese curry to me. And then like there we are in Korea getting kimchi instead.
Well, they've got it too. We got the food.
Yeah, they had a little bit.
Yeah.
Like not like Japan, but and the curry again had a little bit more fire than the Japanese, which doesn't taste spicy at all.
Korean has a little bit more spice in their food.
For sure.
I mean, that's just the way it is. So you find a lot of Japanese / Korean, like I don't want to say where the origins of all these foods are, but you'd find these things and you'd find that there was a little more spice in the Korean version of a lot of that stuff. So it's pretty common.
Yeah.
Anything else in Busan? Busan was a wonderful city.
Yeah.
Great to walk.
Lots of convenience stores to get the fun cold teas that I love to get in the bottles.
And weird little.
Lots of mugi cha.
There's this, I think it's called Tams. There's a sugar-free drink that had all kinds of flavors we tried.
I think you tried that.
Tams Zero.
Oh yes.
We tried a few.
Was that in Busan or?
We tried a few in Busan, yeah.
Okay.
I guess what you want to move to Seoul?
I guess that's what we do. We picked up a salad in the train station and ate our lunch on the train.
Yep.
Just like on the way to Busan.
Yep.
And then Seoul again. We did a Korean barbecue, which was
this was
completely different experience.
This was that amazing Korean beef you hear about, which is supposed to be like Wagyu beef, but Koreans will say it's better.
Yeah, and they call it something else that sort of kind of sounds like Wagyu, but doesn't. But and then the people at the restaurant, we had like linguistic issues, but man oh man, we had like some fun communication.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. And we got the free stuff, which is apparently a thing. I can't remember what the word is for the free stuff in Korean. Like there's a specific word for it.
Sabis.
Yeah.
It's the same as in Japanese.
Okay.
Service.
Yeah. So basically, you get this like. We basically started with the food, and this wasn't a cheap restaurant, so you know we paid for it. But then afterwards, we got like free dessert, free snacks. Like
I think we got extra free stuff because the mama and I just developed this crazy rapport with neither of us speaking the other language. It was so much fun.
That's it. That's a pretty common thing in Korea is that you find a lot of people who don't speak other languages, like they just speak Korean, but there's no like lack of effort to try to communicate. Like a lot of places you kind of go, it's like, well, I don't speak your language. That's the end of this conversation. There, it's like, no, we're going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
until we figure out what we need to do. So, and I had a similar experience. We went to there's a lot of French bakeries in Korea as well. And we went to a French bakery and they didn't have the tea that I wanted. And so the girl came up to me with her phone with Google Translate.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I can't get this tea. Is it okay if we give you this tea? All in her Google Translate thing.
Yeah.
And then
that's when we learned that grapefruit and red grapefruit are two completely different fruits
Yes,
in
apparently.
Korea.
So, and then, and then I took her up and started texting her back on my Google Translate. And we actually had a small conversation. And I used that later as well, where, you just kind of put thank you on there and point it to them. And they appreciate that. Like, there's this, they don't, again, even in tourist spots, you'll see people that don't speak other languages at all.
Yeah.
But they're totally fine.
But there's like an immense amount of goodwill
Yeah.
towards trying to make that connection.
Yeah, or just and get through this situation. So
Yeah.
it's pretty good. So that was quite enjoyable, and that restaurant was definitely one of them. One with the
Yeah. There was a lot of made up sign language and
X's and
and towards the end of it, like little hearts.
yeah.
When you make the heart with your hand or with your like thumb and forefinger.
Yeah. There was a lot of.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I got lots of hugs too.
Yeah, and a photo of her at the end.
Yep.
So.
And boy, it was so much fun though, man. We ate, and we went with friends that we knew from before, and they were like astounded that we managed to do this communication without words.
Yeah.
But it was just the chemistry between me and the mama.
Yeah.
That's good.
And so I'll talk about treats in Korea for a little bit. The interesting thing I found about treats in Korea was there was lots of treats, like special edition treats featuring like K-pop people and cartoon characters, but the treats themselves weren't actually different. So it was like we found the Powerpuff Girls.
I remember you being so disappointed about the BTS.
I got a
Crunky
BTS Crunky bar, which there's a review that'll be up. And I was thinking, oh, BTS Crunky. I wonder like if it's their favorite flavors, if it's something like that. Just a regular Crunky bar with a picture of the BTS guys on it. And the Powerpuff Girls
on
Pocky,
the outside.
Yeah,
It
on the
wasn't
outside.
even on the.
Yeah, the bar is
like,
exactly the
they
same.
didn't like smush their faces on
Or
it,
their logo.
Nothing.
Powerpuff Girls Pockies. I was thinking, oh, they'll have like fun flavors, special edition flavors.
Maybe like a blue and a yellow and a pink.
Yeah, green.
Sorry, blue,
Green and pink.
Okay.
But no, it was just like literally their regular flavored Pockies with the Powerpuff Girls in the package. And there was a lot of that. There was a lot of sort of like this branding stuff for the packages, but not for like the content of the treat was exactly the same.
And I think that maybe your expectations were raised a little bit by the Blackpink Oreos that I brought you home from Thailand that one time.
You know what though? They're raised from the fact that we go to a lot of places where there are special edition things and the flavor is the difference.
The Blackpink ones were Korean.
Oh, I think they were actually Thai, but
maybe, but I've seen
based
them.
on a K-pop band.
I saw them in Korea as well.
Yeah.
And so like those were like really dark Oreo cookies with bright pink icing. So like you kind of have that expectation.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a bit, and Japan has a lot of like special edition stuff that goes with the characters too. That isn't just a package cover. It isn't just like rebranding of the same thing. So. Yeah. But apparently K-pop and cartoon characters, like every month you can go buy the same treat and it'll have a different package based on whatever's.
But it'll still be the same treat.
The same treat, but they change it every month. They change the package every month apparently.
That's disappointing.
So.
What about those donuts we had after the Gordon Ramsay burger?
So we ate a Gordon Ramsay burger. It was our first time. It was good. Gordon Ramsay.
It was our first time eating anything Gordon Ramsay.
It was good. It was actually surprisingly good.
It was really good.
It was very expensive, but fairly worth it.
It was expensive for a burger, but cheaper than expected.
Yes.
Like we went with another friend of mine from ages ago, and when we suggested that, she was like, I don't want to pay $100 for a hamburger. And I said, no, we checked the menu before. It's only $30.
Yeah. Which is expensive, but
But
again,
it was worth it.
It was a great burger. I wouldn't go get them every time, but in a pinch, happy.
Yeah. It was just nice to have the experience.
And then we went to a place, what was it called? Knotted? No.
Yeah, I think so. Knotted Donuts.
So basically, one of the things I noticed, and this is a great example, Korea has very Instagrammable food, like a lot of their bakeries and stuff, but it tastes good too.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing. Like I don't know if this is like a trend in the world. Maybe people are getting sick of like great looking food that sort of tastes bland but looks really colorful. But a lot of the Korean like bakery stuff we got was like looked beautiful.
Yeah.
But tasted great too.
Yeah.
And unbelievable.
Those donuts were
Yeah.
phenomenal.
They were really good. So I've already posted it on social media if you want to follow along and check that out.
Where's your social media?
What do you mean? Like
Like on Twitter? You're
on Twitter, and you can go to candycritter.org. You'll find links to all of the social media.
Okay.
Um,
I don't follow you on social media. I'm sorry.
but that was a rare treat, and the Knotted Donuts is the perfect example of like a tasty good donut
with a view.
Oh yeah, of course. That's another. There's a lot of places that views were a big deal.
Yeah.
Like we went to there was a place in Busan that had like the riverside view. It was a no, it wasn't a Ponderosa. What was it? Outback.
No, it was TGI Fridays.
Was it TGI Fridays?
Yeah.
I thought it was,
pretty sure. Outback was in Seoul.
Okay, so it was TGI Fridays. We went there to get just dinner real quick, and they were like, well, unfortunately the river view is all busy, and we're like, we didn't even know this was an option, so we're okay just anywhere. And a lot of places sort of like there's like the river view, the high view, like the view at a restaurant is a very important thing in a lot of places that we went. I don't know if that's everywhere, but it's a premium to get a nice view. So.
Yeah. And I remember our friend and I were like getting the donuts and tea, and that took a long time. And you just kept moving closer and closer to the window on various tables as they came free.
Yeah.
And by the time we were done getting the donuts and tea, we had a
beautiful window
view.
Yep.
That I think we probably hoarded for a long time.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty common. There's a lot of times, I think you go to the coffee shops and there's people with laptops. It's like coffee shops in North America too, where and donut shops, you can often see people who are like they're planting themselves there for a while, students studying and stuff like that. Like a real culture of that in the various bakeries and coffee shops, which is nice. It's a really good thing.
Yeah, it creates a nice atmosphere.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that happened in Korea that we want to talk about?
Yeah, we want to talk about the DMZ.
Okay, so we went to the DMZ, and for those of you that aren't familiar,
and if you're American, you call it the DMZ.
It's basically it's the area that separates, and it's not a line, it's an actual swath of land.
It's actually multiple zones, because there's the demilitarized zone, which is like on either side of the line of control, I think they call it.
Yeah.
Like it's the dividing line, which is a river. And then outside of that, there's another zone called the civilian control area. So it's like multiple sort of layers.
It's basically, from what I understand, the actual sort of line that divides it, the actual center line, is not guarded. And that is the rule. There can't be an actual guard on that line to stop somebody.
But there are villages within that zone.
But there are zones that can be guarded.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what...
Yeah, you guard the entrance to those
zones, but the actual middle line is not guarded at all.
Yeah, it's like a 2 kilometer wide zone or something.
Yeah.
Like 2 kilometers.
I think it depends on where you are
too.
too.
Yeah, it's probably.
So we visited, and we got to the point where we were in a tunnel that literally went right up to the line. But we didn't cross it. We didn't get to that part where the houses and stuff, like those buildings, the blue buildings are.
Yeah,
it was closed.
It was closed because somebody ran across.
Yeah, but it was interesting because, it was interesting you sort of look through a telescope and look at other people, which is weird. But food-wise, it's interesting because they have farms actually in the demilitarized zone based on the villages that were there in the past. Notionally, that's what they say.
Yeah.
And apparently soybeans are quite popular in rice.
Well, in the civilian control area, where we went to a farmer's market, which was really just like a tourist grocery shop, that's where they farmed soybeans, rice, and...
That was it?
No, there was a third one. Like azuki beans or something. There were 3 things that they farmed.
I think it was the black beans, soybeans, and rice.
Azuki, yeah. Or azuki are red, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Because black beans are the ones that I got, the candy.
Yeah. So like the most expensive chocolate-covered beans that you could possibly imagine in the whole world.
Yeah.
There's a reason they don't put a price tag on them when they're in the store.
Yeah, like $12 for a little bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. But an experience.
Yep.
You can also, apparently they have like ice cream and cakes and stuff made out of
But that's
beans.
not DMZ stuff. That's civilian control area stuff.
Which is in the same general area. If you're
general
going
area.
on a tour,
it's like one of the layers.
Yeah. So, but.
And you can't go in there unless you're on a tour.
Yeah. which we did. And it was interesting. It was, you know,
Weird.
weird, but, you know,
And
interesting.
we bought really expensive chocolate-covered beans.
Yeah, we bought something else too, didn't we? I don't remember.
No, I think that was probably enough.
Okay. But, yeah, and they were fine. They were good,
Yeah.
you know.
We bought 3 bags
Yeah.
and ate like 3 beans out of each of them and then gave the rest away. So, according to my pictures, when we were there in the Castilian control area, there's soybeans, there's rice, and then there's this...
Ginger.
Ginger, that's what it is. It's ginger root.
So
3 crops.
So she's got a picture, and it's kind of funny because there's actually like a little monument to those 3 crops near the farmers market that we went to and bought the soybeans, chocolate covered soybeans.
Yep. So yeah. So rice, ginger. No, it's not ginger. It's ginseng.
Ginseng. Okay. Ginseng.
Yeah. Ginseng.
Ginseng.
I don't know.
Is this a GIF thing?
I think it is. It's ginseng. It's not ginger.
Okay.
Although it's only written in Korea, in Korean.
Which is what we noticed everywhere.
Yeah.
So okay. So anything else about Korea in general, like Seoul, or you know, we ate some Western food.
Wait, I thought you wanted to talk about Bath.
Oh yeah, Bath. We forgot about Bath.
No, you forgot.
I forgot about. So Bath is spelled HBAF.
But pronounced Bath.
But pronounced Bath, and the reason you know that is because you go to all the stores that sell Bath, and there's a big sign that says the H is silenced.
And there's like a million stores that are just exclusively Bath.
There isn't a million.
And
there was
other
like
stores that
there was
have like significant displays of
there was
Bath.
like 3 or 4 stores in Seoul that sold Bath, and what Bath is it's candy coated almonds. They sell other stuff too, but their main thing is candy coated almonds, and they come in all kinds of weird flavors. So you get everything from carrot cake, cherries jubilee, Oreo cookie, mayonnaise,
salted
caramel. They have all kinds, and they're really good. I got a taffy pretzel, and they actually came with little pretzels and taffy covered nuts. So really creative, really high quality, like really nice. Even the ones I didn't like very much were still good. They just weren't my favorite flavors. But like Korea is crazy about candy covered nuts or almonds, in particular the Bath brand candy covered almonds. Like they're everywhere.
Do they have them anywhere else in the world?
I've seen them in Thailand.
Okay.
But they're like $30 a bag in Thailand.
So that is a Korean.
I'm pretty sure it's a Korean thing, and the writing on it is Korean because I had to translate some of it, and my translator definitely understood the Korean. Okay. So they are a Korean thing, but they are everywhere, and it's like they don't even have to associate with K-pop or cartoon characters because they are their own brand. Like there's advertising for it everywhere. Every store, every convenience store, every major store either has at least a small rack, or some places have, like the first grocery store we went to had a massive display with like a character sculpture in the middle of the display and everything like that. And there's literally somebody at that first grocery store who just worked that section restocking.
Yeah,
like
they're phenomenal.
I don't know if it's like a trend or what, but I've never seen a snack so popular in a place in my life.
Yeah,
and they were good.
It's so good though.
Yeah, they're great. They're absolutely great.
And you can you have different mix and matches that you can do, or you can buy like a 22 pack of 22 different flavors.
Yeah, that's the one nice thing is
they have like sweet flavors and salty flavors and like spicy flavors, or a mix of all 3.
Yeah.
And, like
they're marketing it well.
Yeah.
And I think it's doing well for them.
And the packaging is super attractive.
Yeah, it's like these cool illustrations with little almonds dancing around or in costumes. And like the carrot cake one had a bunch of almonds dressed as bunnies on it. So it's like, it's great. It's
so cute.
It's an unbelievably well-designed, and the great thing is, it's like sometimes you see those things and it's just like trendy. Again, it's a little bit back to that bakery idea of like the Instagrammable food looks good but tastes like crap. But in Korea, it's like actually a lot of the Instagrammable food tasted good too. It's the same thing with these Bath nuts. It was trendy. There was pictures of it everywhere, and I was even a little hesitant to buy them because I thought, well, like, is this just a thing that everybody wants to get, but it's actually crappy? But then I got a bag, and after having my first bag, I was like, these are amazing, and even brought a few bags home because they were so good. So, but yeah, that massive trending there. Hopefully it stays around, and hopefully they do well. Hopefully they spread around the world, because I think people would go nuts for these things.
Sort of like that Tony's chocolate. It's sort of making its way around the world.
Yeah. Tony's Chocolicious
or Choco Lovely?
Yeah.
Tony's
Chocolonely.
Tony's Chocolonely.
Tony Chocolonely, yeah. So hopefully we see BAF all over the place, and if you do see it, and if it's a little bit more expensive, pick it up. It's worth trying. If it's a lot more expensive, it is just candy covered almonds.
It might be cheaper just to grab a flight to Korea.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and if you're in Korea, definitely pick them up. It's not just a trendy thing. It's a great snack too while you're traveling, because the first time I ate them, the reason we got a few bags, and part of the reason was we were going to jump on a train, and so we thought, hey, let's get some treats. So I got a couple of these almonds, and that's where I sort of fell in love with them.
Yeah, and they all Ziploc shut too.
Yep.
So you don't have to eat the whole bag at once.
It's a great travel thing, and they're available everywhere. So, and you can get a bunch of different flavors. It's like the perfect Korean travel snack.
Yeah.
So.
Do we have any other Korean travel snacks?
I mean, a lot of salads and.
Like peanuts.
Sandwiches. Convenience stores are pretty good in Korea. Nothing like Japan, and a little different than Thailand, but still pretty good.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North America, man, you got to figure out your convenience stores.
Yeah, seriously. I guess it's culture. Like, we're not used to it in North America.
Yeah, we have fast food places more.
Yeah.
So, I think that's it.
I think so.
So, well, thanks for listening to another episode of Junk Food on the Road, where we talked about
South Korea.
Yay.
And the DMZ.
Yeah. We looked at Korea, or North Korea.
We looked at North Korea.
As always, you can follow us on Twitter @CandyCritic, or go to candycritic.org and find links to a whole. Oh, it's not Twitter anymore; it's X. They might stop saying that, because, as always, on X doesn't sound as clever.
X, the X formerly known as Twitter.
I think I'll just, from now on, I'm just going to say, you can follow us on social media. Just go to candycritic.org and find links to all the social media that's out there. It's constantly changing, and I'm always constantly adding new ones. You can also go to candycritic.org and find all the reviews, find links to my candy books, Snack Facts and Treats and Beasts, and you can find cool merchandise too, and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Make sure to check it out. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.